My little pony, my little pony.
Hello and welcome. Hey everyone, welcome to Bronyville. This is episode 17, recorded on August 14th, 2011. I am your host, AppleCider. Great to have all you on. Great to have you listening on either by our website over there at BronyShow.com or, listening on iTunes. All you really cool downloaders, do it. Once again, I always have my very gracious, awesome, and somewhat sick co-host. Hey there, Chef Sandy.
Hi.
He's a little under the weather.
Yeah, just a little bit, but I'm still putting on a show.
I think what will happen is, and this is a real change of pace, but I think I'm going to do most of the talking, and you.
Oh my goodness!
And you can just sit there, interject every once in a while, once every 5 minutes when I let you.
You're so generous.
I know. Listen, I don't want you to strain yourself. This is very important. You don't strain yourself and just keep quiet. Our guest today, a little bit of change up and everything. We pulled in pretty much somebody I've been meaning to get on the show for a while. He does writing for us. He does some of the weekly quotes from the community. And also is our main audio guy who actually ends up making, me sound all beastie and awesome. I have just called him as M. His full term is Mbulsht, as in M-B-U-L-S-H-T. Hey, man. Nice to have you on the
show. Hope I find you guys well.
Yep. You're coming across loud and clear. So yeah, M does helps us out with the show. He actually, go ahead and explain. You first came into kind of just to explain you a little bit. You came into popularity by a particular article you wrote.
Yeah, back in April, I wrote an open letter to the Brony community, and as I recall, that was how you found me. You actually reached out and emailed me from the email that I posted there, and that was kind of how we met. You wanted to talk about, the stuff that I'd written, and we kind of got to talking, and you discovered that I knew how to do audio work, and that you were in desperate need of such a person. I
needed audio work, and also found out you were down the road. So,
yep, I live a little close to you.
We have done the Bay Area Brony meet, which, hey, plug. So we are we're hanging, we're bros, and he helps out and is super cool. So there you go, everybody who's wondering, how do I get on the show? That helps. So, yeah, super cool to have you on. We have our usual 4 questions, and I'm sure you've heard these because you edit each of these shows. You have to listen.
Every single episode.
You have to listen to this twice, at least twice. You have to listen to your own voice multiple times. That's
boy. That'll be meta.
Not looking forward to editing this one.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, AC. Speaking of meetup groups, I have one more than you.
Oh! Don't worry, we'll beat you. All right.
I think he's winning, AC. I think he's winning.
He's never winning.
Are we going to take that?
No. Actually, there's been a big contention between us and the DC and the Portland group. All of them are neck and neck, and then, New York sits there at the top going, "Hi, I'm Purple Tinker." I got 200 people. You can't even do that. I'm like, oh, you're mean. Though I love you. Thank you, Purple Tinker. Anyway, you're avoiding the question. So we've got our 4 that we got to do. So first 2 that you know very well. Favorite character and favorite episode. Go.
Okay, so my favorite character is a background character by the name of Cheerly. Most of you already probably know her, of course. She's the teacher pony for this the Philly and Colt school. So Cheerly is my favorite character.
And why?
Why? Well,
yeah, background characters a little bit. We get them time to time, but they're not as much screen time, so we've got to have to figure it out.
Well, for one, Cheerly has more speaking roles than most of the background ponies, so there's a little bit more canon official personality that she has, and also she's a school teacher, and teachers are I for a time I wanted to be a teacher. I was studying teaching in college for teaching music before I became what I am now, which is a music technology major. I have a lot of respect for people who sit around all day and deal with loud, whining children and trying to educate them. And there are a couple other reasons, and just to plug some of my own work, I will actually be writing an article soon about why I like Cheerly so much, and it actually relates to parts of the community, so do please look forward to that. As for my favorite episode has got to be Cutie Mark Chronicles, just because I think Philly Fluttershy is far too adorable not for that to be my favorite episode.
She has that little face swoop, that almost like emo face swoop there.
Yeah.
Going
the little
on.
skinny legs, yeah.
Gangly, awkward tween pony.
Yeah. I'm so lithe and uncomfortable right now. I'm going to figure out who I am after singing to squirrels. that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and your other two, even though I was thinking, however, I was just thinking, but you do audio stuff, why not Vinyl Scratch, or why not Octavia or Lyra? You go with Cheerly.
Cheerly Pony is best pony.
All right. just wanted to check. Okay, so let's do that. Why do you love the show?
The primary reason I love the show is actually the music. I'm a massive music nerd, being a musician in college and a music major. What pulled me into the show more than anything was in the second episode, that song that Pinkie Pie sings, Gila the Ghostie. This is a very catchy tune, has a really cool melody and a really cool lead-in intro. And because all of the people in my apartment that I live with, they're all musicians, and they all also happen to be bronies as well. And whenever we watch episodes of anything or movies, all of us are constantly commenting about the background music and the score and how it's being written, and we're making little music jokes, really, silly, nerdy things. But the music of the show is very well written, and it oftentimes Daniel Ingram and the man who writes the actual incidental music will plug little references to big movies or musicals in there, and we'll always catch them immediately and laugh about them. So the first reason was the music, and then as everyone else says, the plot and the characters and the voice acting is also very good. One of the reasons I actually got into the show was because I heard my favorite voice actress plays Twilight.
Mm-hmm, Tara Strong.
Yeah,
yep.
Tara Strong, who has done Raven in Teen Titans.
Oh, she's done everything. Yeah, she's
done a lot of things.
She's amazing. Hey, Tara, come on the show. So yeah, very cool. I agree. The audio, there's so few you could say like, no, that's the weak part of the show. But yeah, the music is totally cool. Some of that background music. Oh, you just good. Okay, yeah. And let's go to the last one. What do others think about said love for Pony?
Well, in the case of the people I live with, it was an almost immediate, really, are you serious? And then a sort of, okay, we'll watch the first 2 episodes. And, 6 hours later, it was, Mbul, why don't you have episodes 11 through 20 yet? So that's actually the main reaction I've gotten, was a lot of my friends, who found out have been like, really, are you serious? And then they watch the show. Oh, I can see why you like that. So a couple of my friends on Facebook have been really sort of inflammatory about it, the name calling. I've actually had to block a few people from Facebook, but, haters gonna hate and all that. And my own 2 parents were just sort of like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad you like something.
Oh, good. He's not doing drugs.
And my mother is now watching the show. I'm actually having her go through it, and she enjoys it very much. So it's kind of a mixed response, but generally it's been people have gone, I don't know if I want to. Oh yeah, you're right. This is pretty good.
All right, super, super cool. Well, good to have you on the show. Not in addition to what we had talked about there, we're actually gonna spends a good amount of time on Ponychan, which I unfortunately don't spend a lot of time on, and Chef does a little bit, but
I do some.
A little bit, but we're going to send him in. He's going to be our little undercover mole to tell us kind of what's happening on that Ponychan system. So, if you ever wondered what happens on that crazy image board of ours, stick on it. We're going to cover all that. But to move on to do the next segment of our show, which is full of email. It happens to be called the email segment. If you ever want to send us a message, well, it's right here on the Google Doc. You can find at BronyShow.com. You can find the email address right there on the front page of BronyShow.com, and it's in the Google Doc. But that email is Bronyville@gmail.com. And you guys are super awesome. You guys actually overloaded us this week. We're looking at doing another email thread because, oh, God, there's just so much pony. So we're looking at doing another one of those to catch back up to some of these. So if you are not if you haven't been covered, don't worry. We start all of them. We're going to go back and cover some of the other ones in a future email episode. But first, the usual order, myself, Chef, and then M. I'll give Chef an assist if he needs to, just because he's Sicky McSickerson, if necessary. No, don't strain yourself, hon. If you need to lay back down, don't exasperate yourself. Use a cold compress. Keep it close, just right against it. All right. Em, could you go make him some chicken noodle soup? That would be great.
Yeah, I'm
gonna read this email. You don't wear yourself one little bit there, Chef. So, our first message. This one comes across. Let's see if I can find it. I'll go down to the bottom. Excel Hedge. Dear Chef Sandy and AppleCider. Confound you! Confound you for opening my eyes to the worlds of pony fanfic. If it wasn't for you, I would never have found my love for the best pony ever, Nyx. That's right, Nyx/Nightmare Moon is the best pony ever. Thank you for suggesting past sins in your fanfic section the couple of weeks past. Ever since I started reading it, I simply couldn't stop. Well, just to wait for the updates. The story is so amazing I officially made it my season 2. I would love to see it animated through, though I know it never will. I spend time in between updates reading fics like On a Cross and Arrow, Better Living Through Science and Ponies, Elements of Discord, and the list goes on, and I love it. I have a couple of questions for you. Which fanfic would you like to see animated? No, it can't be Cupcakes, though part of me would like to see it. I'm not sure how much you know about the Transformers crossover line, but how would you feel about a Transformers crossover MLP line? Which characters would appear in the line? What would they change into? What would you want Celestia bots versus Nightmaricons or an FIM vibe in the story? Remember, the best pony is spelled Nyx Nightmare Moon. The best show pony is Fluttershy. Thanks for reading, XL Hedge, and yes, any of the points I yelled, it was all in caps.
Yes, that was all in caps.
Let's go up from the bottom. I'm not sure about a Transformers MLP mix.
I'm just going to say no.
The computer says no. It'd just be a little... I wouldn't mind, like, in the show if somebody was playing with tiny pony, like literally Scooter, like the CMCs are playing with these tiny little like Decepticons and Transformers things that are pony themed. I think that would be a nice little like nudge, a little homage, like, yeah, Transformers, yeah, that's cool. Do that. I think having a whole line of Fluttershy / Chevrolet Corvettes, I don't know. Yeah. What do you think, Em?
Actually, this is actually kind of a running joke with my friends. A lot of us like to play the video game Marvel vs. Capcom, and a couple of us have been joking around at how much we'd like to see a crossover with like Marvel vs. Hasbro or Capcom vs. Hasbro, where it's the Transformers and the ponies, and they're fighting, Marvel characters or Mega Man and Phoenix Wright. I actually think that'd be hilarious. As far as a crossover show would go, I don't even think that's even possible. I don't think that would even work.
Yeah, it would just take the production teams kind of working through it and figuring it out. But yeah. I mean, I won't completely knock it. I mean, if you would have asked me a year ago, like, dude, My Little Ponies, I would have been like, dude, no. So I can never say I'm completely out of it, but yeah. So, moving back up, what fanfic would you like to see animated? Ooh, that's actually a tough one because you have to think about it like what would be a good episode. I'm having to go through my past fics. You guys jump in. I'm going to have to think about this.
See, because if it's going to be a one-shot, it's going to have to be something relatively short.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the fic I chose this week was, I scroll down to find the name of it because I'm terrible and forgetful, is called Luna's Day Out by Avery Strange. It's a simple one-day-long story that could be animated fairly easily. A lot of the fics that I've read are really long and involved, and that's great, but they wouldn't make very good episodes. It'd have to be like an entire arc of their own.
Yeah, they'd have to be big, long stories. Em, do you have one in particular?
I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's the one where Celestia takes a day off at Luna's request. I believe we talked about it last week. I'm blanking on the name, though.
Luna's Farewell Tour? Or no. Sunny Skies All Day Long.
Sunny Skies, that's the one. Yeah, I would love to see that be animated as a movie or as a show.
I agree. That one is a really good episode fic. I have to agree there. If I can go for crazy epic, what is the name of it? It is the oh boy, this is a great segment of the show where we don't know everything. But it is the it's a dangerous thing going out your door or something. Yeah, that one is a crazy long neat adventure where you have Applejack, Dash, and Rarity all just doing this epic pilgrimage, and they're having to rely on each other, and it's pretty neat. And it gives Applejack a lot more importance that I think she needs in the show. But yeah, I think those would be good. They would be fun episodes. So thank you there, Excel. Hey, Coffee McCofferson, you want the next one?
Yay. All right, so... Well, I suppose I was technically mentioned in a bit of fan mail, but I'll take it. Thank you so much for super awesome fan mailer guy, and AppleCider, and Chef Sandy. In all, most seriousness, I was really flattered and flabbergasted when a friend told me my Nom the DeviantArt was mentioned on your show this week. That's pretty much made my week, month, and year. You have no idea how exciting it was. Really, I guess it's kind of sad, in a sad but very exciting way. The only itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, tiny-weeny little problem is that the letter I was referred to as a he, but I'm actually a she, complete with all the she-related parts and accessories. It's a pretty common misconception for some reason. My pony avatar is violet blue with luxurious long eyelashes and pigtails, and my screen name is Pixel Kitties, which is much less manly than saying CryEngine Direct 3D 10 Liger Zero Power Tool. And yet, almost everyone who has kind enough to contact me assumes I'm of the manly man persuasion, and I thought I should set the record straight. And that is all. I really wanted to thank you, fine bronies, for the amazingly nice fan who wrote and meant to me in the same breath as Ego and Mad Max. That's the kind of praise that really makes you feel amazing and more than a little unworthy. Thanks, guys. Monica, a.k.a. Pixel Kitties.
Oh. Well, okay, Well, there you go, Chef. Now go ahead and lay back down, because I know that probably wore you out. But listen, I'm only looking out for your well-being. So let me handle this. Thank you very much, Pixel Kitty / Monica. Any mistake that was made, I completely attribute to Chef making a mistake, and he will be disciplined as necessary.
Yeah. I saw that we had a commentator on our website get kind of snippy that we referred to ecophiliac as a he.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where on the internet you kind of assume it's a male. But yes, I found out now that yes, ecophiliac is a she. Okay.
Bad Chef. Dag trying to not get genders right. Ooh, shake a hoof.
I'm clearly terrible.
Yeah, but glad that made it. Hey, we read your mail, so maybe this will make you squeal even better. The awesome stuff that you make there. So, a double secret, extra cool. Okay, Em, your turn.
Okay. To Chef and Cider. Recently, on Know Your Meme, bronies were described as males specifically, and many disagree with calling us women and girls who also no longer fit the demographic due to age, bronies. I, personally, am an 18-year-old girl who hangs out on a site called Rooster Teeth, which is devoted to video games and one particular machinima called Red vs. Blue. On there, I have argued the case for calling girls bronies as well multiple times. I think this should be addressed more often and finally decided once and for all. Sincerely, Double Helix. Yes, that's my brony name. I happen to be majoring in genetics.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I think we've discussed this on the show before, that the bro in part of ponies, it comes from the origin of the B board on 4chan. So B, ponies, bronies, there you go. It is a gender neutral term.
Though it does have I mean, just by the sound of it and the, the recent thing of broism, everything of people just being, bros. It does have a little bit of that term to it to be a little masculine. Now, not saying it is and not saying it's supposed to be used that way, but it does have that a little.
I can say that some people might think that, but I'm also going to say that the people that think that are wrong.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know. I almost, this has been going around for a while, and I've heard it definitely from multiple sides, where females who are part of the that are bronies are just like, we wish there was a different term that could be us as well, because I guess for the most part, I guess they feel that they are kind of discounted by the whole, large presence of male fans. And
well,
go ahead.
It's not considered odd that a female of any age, likes ponies. That's seen as a very girl thing. So the fact that there is a male fan demographic is the out of the ordinary, unexpected thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember that the target demographic of this show was never intended to be what the actual demographic of the audience has been. So it seems actually rather hypocritical to me for people to come out and say, well, you can't, bronies, that's only male. We have to assign another word to the female half of the fandom. That seems out of place to me, because if anything, they have more of a right to be a part of this fandom than we do, because that's simply what the target demographic was when Hasbro created the show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not sure if doing something like this would be the right thing to do, but I think it would be kind of neat to see if there was a website or something set up that actually was, designated for the females who like actual females that like My Little Ponies. Now, I'm sure that there's many ways that could break down and become bad, considering the fact that all it takes is somebody to go, "Hello, I'm a lady. How are you? I'm part of your lady crew." That's all that's really necessary to kind of undo that, but it would give something. I don't know. It has been something that's kind of had to be dealt with, and that I think does cause a little bit of strife for,
I think in the interest of a more unified fan community, seeking arbitrary divisions like that does not help anybody.
Yeah. What are we to do? We're doomed.
The bronies name came off of 4chan, and we are kind of stuck with it, because that is what the greater internet knows the group as.
Yep.
It came off the B board of 4chan as far as most of the internet is concerned. Never mind, it was on Co initially, but, whatever.
Yeah. I say bronies.
It's obviously grown far past that.
Unless you wanted to go with something else like Phillies, and then that just kind of gets kind of weird, and there's a lot of my girlfriend agrees. There's some weird connotations to that. So, okay. So, just stick with it. By the way, Double Helix, awesome name, and awesome for genetics. That's pretty cool. Sweet.
Yes.
Hey, look, it's my turn. Big block of text. All right, let's do this. Hey there, fellas! First off, I wanted to say that although I'm only a recent convert to Bronydom about 2 months ago, I found your show on its 13th episode, and it has quickly become my favorite thing to listen to on the drive from my house to work and back as I catch up on past episodes. Great job, and keep the spirit alive. The real reason I'm writing is that I could use a little bit of advice. If by some miracle you do read this on air, it wouldn't be around to hear it because I'll be stuck on a U.S. Navy minesweeper sailing around Asia for the next 3 months. but I already can't wait to catch up again once I get back around Thanksgiving. Ever since I discovered MLP and dove into the fandom, I have been tugged in two different directions. One side, ponies are pulling me, fills me with this peace and contentment I haven't known before, and it brings me a constant smile every time I sing one of their songs in my head. It's allowed me to reconnect with an innocent side of my life and enjoy the simple pleasures like a sunny afternoon or a full moon at night. And on the other hoof, it brings out a stark contrast of the unhappiness I've ignored all of my life up to this point and shows me how poor of a friend I've been in the past. So while being a brony has put a smile on my face for longer than anything else, it also makes me sad when I look at my life outside the real world, removed from that innocence and simple joy. It's been dragging down my mood lately as I go from happy to sad and don't want to introduce negative morale to my crew. I haven't had the courage to express the brony side of me to my shipmates, so I'm hoping y'all might be able to point me in some kind of direction if you've run across this problem with anyone else before. I know y'all are busy, but I do have 3 months. Thanks for the work you do for the community. Stormy Seas, a.k.a. Jeremy. Whew, that's an interesting one there. I'll defer to Chef because he's the sensitive heart between us two. Chef, speak out and help cleanse Jeremy's wounds.
Well, I'm glad that MLP has helped reignite and reconnect with your innocent side. That is something that a lot of people say they haven't felt. And I myself felt it's like, oh, this is cute and innocent, and I can like this and not in an ironic way. I just genuinely like this. I think what you can do is try to be the better friend. I don't quite know how things work on a military vessel. I'm clearly, such a military type. But I would suggest, getting to know your crew, seeing, fraternize with your shipmates. Maybe share episodes if you brought a laptop with you and you can watch it. I mean, worst case, they'll think you're weird for watching cartoons, but it'd be a good way to pass the time on the boat, I'm sure. This is one of those, it's an odd question because it's inserting ponies in a decidedly not pony situation.
I'll take it to the point of each show has its lessons, and a lot of lessons are about, how you deal with people, how you deal with friendship and stuff like that. And, even though they're basic things meant for kids, they still relate, Make sure that, there's tons of little things that can be done there. Take them to heart. Actually try and I think you've made a good first start of saying what, I haven't exactly been the best person. And, at one point, I guess that could make it so that in the beginning it's a little bit, it's a little bit on the sad point and a little bit of trying to do it. But once you can step out and once you can push yourself forward and be like, okay, this is what I was. What can I be? Look at what you can take and what you can pull forward to make yourself kind of like that. And you could start it, you're on a boat for a while. Why don't you start it there? And why don't you start to involve yourself in, I'm not saying you have to start showing episodes, to your friends, but, just involve yourself in your shipmates and, show some interest in trying to find out who they are. It doesn't have to be anything, but just show some genuine interest and you might be surprised what happens. Em, you got anything?
Well, I think you actually touched on a very, very interesting subject. This has been discussed by me with a lot of friends of mine on Ponychan, and that is learning from the show. Now, it seems very silly, right, that we would be taking, life lessons from a kids' television show aimed at preteen females, but what does the show, tell us about things like friendship and remaining happy? What's the first? What is one of the first things they teach us, and that is giggle at the ghostie, right? And I think that's a really important lesson that someone can take, is that all that negative stuff that happens in your life, all that stuff that you think drags you down, it shouldn't. I mean, it will, because, that's the human nature. But if you take this idea to heart that you can bring happy out anytime you want, then you can find, I think, that being happy is something that you will always, be feeling. As for, your shipmates, he said, I haven't had the courage to express the Brony side of me to my shipmates. My friend, a friend of mine named Hawkeye on Ponychan, and I had an interesting discussion about what is it, to be a Brony. And yes, being a Brony, part of it is liking My Little Pony, and part of it is maybe taking part in the community, enjoying the show. But I think that another part of being a Brony is taking on life head on, with a smile on your face, because that's what watching a show about adorable little, somewhat humanized ponies does. It puts a smile on your face, right? And I think that expressing that Brony side in you isn't necessarily going to always just be, hey, check out this show. Hey, look at this song. It's going to be something that you feel emotionally as you live through your daily life. And I think that taking away, like you said, AC, taking away some of the Aesops from the show is definitely a large part of that.
Yeah. I'll just touch one last thing, and this is just kind of my feelings about the show and a little bit of the community as a whole, and then we'll move on to the next email. But one of the things I really think that I admire so much about the community is the fact that it is so warm, it is so welcoming, and the fact that it manages to be an internet community that's smart and kind of silly and witty on the internet, but it's chopped off a bunch of that cynicism. Like the internet and many image boards and stuff like that, way super cynical, way just mean and biting. And I'm not saying it's completely gone; it's totally there. But the community is far, far more interested in being like, what, I have issues with this, but I'm not going to bring it in because we're all kind of intermingled and part of this, and I admire that. I think that's amazing. That it's managed to kind of pull so many pieces together, and I hope it continues to do that. That even if if people have their own problems and things like that, that everyone can just band together. Just be bronies.
Exactly.
So, all right. So we're gonna move forward. Hope that takes care of you, Stormy Seas, and thanks for doing all your awesome work out there in the military. Also, big salute all the you military bronies out there, putting your life on harm's way. Super respect to you guys. You do something that I am totally too much of a wuss to do. So you super respect for you. And finally, moving on to all you naysayers who say that I'm mean about Chef and his love for Rainbow Dash, I specifically gave him this email. So this is my appeasement to the RBD crowd.
This is his concession. Hey, Chef Insider. Thanks for providing us with such a high-quality and well-thought-out podcast. After listening to last week, though, I can't sit still a moment longer while my favorite pony goes unrecognized. I therefore stand by Chef Sandy and the fact that Rainbow Dash is the best pony. I know that I'm not the first to do this, but my Rainbow Dash love now has a permanent place on the inside of my arm, and I challenge AppleCider to do the same. Let me assure you that this is no water tattoo. In all seriousness, though, what's the furthest you've gone to represent your pony love in public? Meetup's not counting here. And did you find fellow Bronies that recognized your love of the show? If not, did anybody ask you about what you're wearing, watching, etc.? Thanks again for your hard work, Region Dash. And yes, he totally does have a Rainbow Dash cutie mark tattoo.
That is incredible.
And it looks like it's fresh off from the chair too, because it's still kind of bloody. It's kind of grody looking.
Yeah, I scaled it down. If you had the full size that I had, I was like, click, resize.
Yeah, he sent us some very high resolution photos. We scaled them down.
Yeah.
But yeah, see that's some dedication. That's some dedication right there.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's something.
So when are you going to go get your Twilight?
No. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Next email. I'm okay. You win this round, Rainbow Dash. this round.
Well, he did have a question, though. Have you done anything in public to show off your pony love?
Okay, well, I did do the meetups. That's true. I do have the shirt. So I have worn that around in public, and it's a purple shirt of Celestia Rising. So, I wear it in the hopes that just somebody's going to go, oh, we gotta talk, but nothing has come of that so far. But, I'm a wuss and I can't do a tattoo.
Aww.
I'm sorry.
I actually haven't purchased any pony clothing merchandise. I have a little Dash keychain that I've had for a while. And I do have a fun little anecdote. I was having to run up to the bank here this last Friday, and it's actually dipped under 100,000 million degrees here in Texas. So I was rolling on the road with my windows down, listening to my Pony Songs soundtrack. And I roll up at the light, and there's this, crappy old Cadillac with the usual suspects inside. And I'm blasting Winter Wrap Up. And they just kind of turn and look at me. And I turn and look at them. I put on my cool face, and the light turns green. Problem? It was rather amusing.
You and your real life pony trolling.
Yes. It's like, I'm listening to pony music and you can't stop me.
3 months of winter coolness and they couldn't take one moment. Oh! Matter of fact, that song sounds really... If that song could make the world a little bit cooler just by singing it, I think everyone would sing it. So, moving onward, because I'm not getting a tattoo because I'm an enormous wuss. All right, Em, we got one more to go, and you got to bring us home.
All right. Dear AppleCider and Chef Sandy, I wanted to tell you that I really enjoy the show. I found it recently, like August 5th, and proceeded to listen to all 15 episodes over the next 5 days so I could be all caught up when you released episode 16. Anyway, I have a few questions for you guys. I keep hearing about this epic playlist that Chef Sandy has on iTunes of some 21 hours of pony music. I happen to really like most of the remixes and music produced by this community and was wondering if there is any way that you guys could provide a download link or even a name of the songs in the playlist.
Oh my.
My second question would have to be, what does some pony have to do to get on your podcast if we are not a pony celebrity? Would I have to make some epic fan fiction or make some epic music or even make a Rainbow Dash squirrel suit and go base jumping? Or would you be willing to accept a run-of-the-mill vanilla-flavored brony? Just a thought. Thanks for taking your time and reading this and keep up the good work. Sincerely, Cloudscape Pony. P.S. I left you a positive review on iTunes.
Woo!
Awesome.
All right, top down. How do we get your music?
Well, thankfully, this is where another thing where Ponychan is really freaking helpful. So what you do is you go to ponychan.net and you take your pointer, go right over to media. And there's a guy who's in trip code of Waka who has a massive combined torrent of every single piece of fan-made music, official music background, and a bunch of other things that they've done some wobbly stuff with, and it's all right there. It's in multiple parts on Mega Upload. There is a massive torrent that is, I think, up to... Oh, goodness. I need to...
Are you dropping out? Are you a little bit behind on your pony song?
Yes, apparently I missed last week's, and there's been 100 songs added to the update pack.
Uh-oh, get on it.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Chef's dropping out of the call. He's got to use the other side of his bandwidth.
Oh, please, I have FiOS.
Oh, okay.
None of this DSL peasantry.
Oh.
But yes, just Pony Music Archive 1.5. It's about 2.7 or 2.8 gigs at this point, and is actually larger than my 20.4 hours of Pony songs. I recently transferred computers to a new one, and some of my songs got lost in the transfer, so I'm a little sad, but I don't know what I lost. because I have so many. So it's kind of a oh well.
Yeah, that'd work. So yeah, I have far less, but Chef is definitely on top of all the music.
Yes, the pony music is one of my favorite things about the show, and the part of the community that I really think is really cool.
As for the second question, the how do you get on the show? I think kind of one of the things that we had is we really do look for people who do add something to the community, be it a fic or, be it, drawing some really cool stuff or, base jumping with a Rainbow Dash squirrel suit. We do look for people who do kind of those special things. Not saying that you guys, you regular listeners don't have some really awesome ideas and really cool opinions as is, but it's just kind of one of my aims. If I want to bring you guys interesting voices and interesting ideas from different people that are doing different things, as well as, people that we know, have helped out. I mean, M we brought in because I've been dealing with him a lot. He knows a lot about Ponychan, and he kind of gives us a little bit of a back rub. So he's always there when I'm like, dude, our person has not contacted us. We need someone now. He's like, all right, fine. If you need me, you need me.
Also, I have all the power.
Yeah,
I decide what you sound like.
And now I'm a reaver.
Yeah. I'll add that in later. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I'm in a cathedral. All right. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, nothing against you guys. That's just kind of, I mean, I really want this to turn into a show where we could get Jason and, get all the really cool people to come on the show and just be cool guys and talk about it. So, I mean, nothing against you guys. You totally could go be on the Brony show, or, however, burn or not. I don't, however, but yeah, I think that's it. And also, to move to the last part, super cool you left a review on iTunes, which I am going to lead this into the next little block of text I have here. So, I always want to press you guys to please, if you can, leave us a review on iTunes, because I think we're actually getting to the point where we could show up on the TV page, like the bottom of the TV page, and I totally want us to do it, because that would be so cool if we start kicking off all these other, like, stupid Twilight, start knocking everybody down. So here you go. Here's a little bit of fun. I will start trying to collect these names every once in a while of people who have left us awesome 5-star reviews. So here they go. And there might be a few repeats of people who have done it before. But here it goes. Dylan Reynolds, Jonathan Buchanan, Filled with Solutions, A Sleeping Cobra, Hand of Vengeance, Fox Flight, Satachi 11, M Yojo, Vafrus Coyote, User 20028, Owlicious, thanks for joining in with us, Owlicious, Chase Rosenberg, Furlong 284, T-Dude 4326, NGA Tooney, which I believe might be actually the NGA artist. Cool.
Wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're in the What Hot's top 120, dude.
Oh, dude. Sweet. Nice.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We are super hot now. Going onward, I want to thank also the Pone Machine, Cloud Drifter, Deeker Adams, Super Blah 12, MP Slover 76, Eric Smith, Michael Spooner, Jason Falorge, Electric Zone 444, Hio 590, Shadow Nightbolt, Gilbert Muladano, KFJ 943, Popcorn Cobb, The Mass Brony, Selzer 37, Jay Jeeves, Kraz Catboy, Sergeant Ironhoof, The Average Adequate Joe, Elusive Shark, and Anonymous 7331137. Thank you.
So yes, once again, thanks to all of our 5-star review leaver people.
Yep.
We are now number 102 on the top 120 hot podcasts on TV.
Whoa, that's sweet.
Oh, wow.
We're hot
that's
stuff.
Incredible.
That's some hot stuff right
We're
there.
hot stuff, baby. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you guys, totally. If you don't use iTunes, download it and give us a review if you could. You know, and there was a 4-star in there, but you know, please leave us a 5-star if you feel we deserve it. If you think we're trash, okay, you could think we're trash, but I'm not going to read your name, just so you know. That's going to be how it's going to go. All right. So thank you very much, iTunes Bronies. Moving on. Let's do news. We got news time. We got a lot of stuff. We've gone like 40 minutes, 50 minutes just doing that. Wow.
We are full of words.
Well, I am double full of words today. All right. Well, let's see if we can get through this. Wow, that was a lot of email. All right. News time. Let's see. So we'll do the first one. So there's that guy, that Daniel Ingram guy, and he keeps popping up every once in a while saying things. And this time he wanted us to like him, and I guess we did it. And he had something for ransom, and he gave it to us. So there.
We liked the heck out of him.
So, hey, Chef, what exactly happened?
Let's see. Basically, he started with about 2,700 likes on Facebook. And he's like, hey, Bronies, if you can get me to 3,500 likes, I'll give you an unreleased song from Season 1. And of course, every fan, all of us who are absolutely starving for fresh content, go, we shall dance, master. And to the point that, let's see, how many is he up to now?
You can check it now. At the time of this post on August 11th, he was at 6,000 likes, which is
6,970.
So we've almost got him double what he wanted.
Yes. So instead of the 700 he wanted, he got, a ridiculous amount.
He got well about 5,000. So there you go. It was a big thing. We finally did get the song, and he was, as said, he was super surprised that he was like, dude, I was at a movie, and I didn't even know when you guys had reached it. I'll be home in a little bit and give you the song. Jeez, calm down.
So he gained around 4,000 likes when he wanted 700.
Yeah. So. And what he gave us was a copy of a different copy of the Hop, Skip, and Jump song.
Which is 30 seconds long as opposed to 15.
30 seconds slower, different words. I kind of like it a little bit. It's definitely slower, not the kind of phonetic song that was actually in the show. But it's neat. I like it. There was a little bit of weirdness happen because everybody, of course, went crazy on his wall, and supposedly people, I don't know if they were simply trolls or just wanted to be weird, but people supposedly started spamming porn and just general spam on his wall as well, which caused him to turn off his wall. Which that seems like it was the only black spot on this entire thing, was just people going, oh, thanks, Daniel, and by the way, we're so sorry with what happened to your wall. That is not us as a whole. Who did that? God. So, yeah, but we got a song out of it. So I consider it win-win. Still love us, Daniel Ingram, even though we're kind of weird at times, and some people are bad people. Bad ponies.
Yes.
But that's cool. Yeah, we got ourselves a little bit, another little musical nugget while we wait for the next season. So very cool. That link is on the show notes. You can find the show note at BronyShow.com. Moving onwards. I love this. I probably watched this video 5 times, probably in the first day it was released. And that's Know Your Mame. We've linked to it. The ponies have definitely taken over Know Your Mame. Or meme, as some people tell me that I should be saying it as. Meme. I understand I can't say things. I have a radio program, but I can't say things. So, Know Your Meme made a official video for the bronies and for the ponies and for all the love that's been put towards it. And I love it. I love that video. That is silly. It is goofy. It is fun. I have very good feelings, and I'm pretty much certain that a bunch of the staff at Know Your Meme are total Brony fans or Pony fans, and it's cool. I love it. What do you guys think?
I really liked it. I thought it was very well made, very balanced. I got to send it over to some friends that were like, "Oh, what is this pony nonsense?" Well, there you go. Look at it.
What about you, Em? Did you get to take a look at it?
I haven't had the time to take a look
at
it.
Okay. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what it's about. It's really good. That's what it's about. So I highly recommend it.
I'll definitely check it out.
It's definitely about a lot of the earlier points of just like how it started to come and how it started to actually become this weird group that it is. And some of the stuff we're going to talk about is like Exodus from 4chan and various places where it's really popular, and some of the MAME stuff, like, hey, look, here's Derpy Hooves. This is what that's about. But it also has its own like weird, quirky humor, like the bro hoof at the very end. Like, I absolutely love that scene just because it's so bizarre. And the Activate It, which is actually a play on something that Moot did on 4chan of just activate it and weird pony stuff. So I love it. It's definitely I don't want to use I won't use inside baseball, but it definitely knows all the references that it's coming from, and it's kind of fun to see something that's like, "Yee, this applies to us. That's funny." So fun time. Chef, did you check the next one?
What?
The next news article.
Oh, yes, MNA TV. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, so how about you explain this one now?
So the NMA is this crazy Taiwanese news organization who does wacky CG explanations for its news stories. And theirs was titled My Little Pony Attracts Brony Fans. But then again, these are the same people that also did one about the supposed rapture back on May 21st, how that was going to happen. And they do really wacky things. And the fact that they did it on My Little Pony is pretty darn cool. It's basically turning the beatards into actual humans and stuff like that.
It's really silly. I mean, these guys can generate like a news story completely in complete 3D design in like 2 days.
They have to be using like Gary's Mod or something similar, or Poser. But even then, it's still really funny because
it looks like they used the Sims actually,
or something like it. They definitely use they have that, and supposedly I heard something like Conan kind of stated it when he was having a weird thing with them of like, hey, and they've got 40 people working on animations at one time just to make these weird CGI things. But it's really it says, hey, there's these Brony things. They like My Little Ponies. It came from 4chan, and it took all these trolls, and they kind of ended up liking it, and that they follow the ideas of love and tolerance, and get on motorcycles with a humanized Rainbow Dash. So
in front of billboards advertising Equestria Daily, Ponychan, and Rainbow Dash Network.
Yep.
So a lot more people saw that.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I love that. Was kind of the beginning thing of this crazy media week. So that was like, oh, dude, we had that, and then everything else kind of followed it afterwards with this crazy media blitz. But yeah, that was super fun, super cool. Yeah, I love that. Check it out. It's on the show notes. I highly recommend it. It's short. It's like the actual piece itself is like 45 seconds long, but I love it. It's cool. And our final little news story that we have here is mainly just a little plug for all you guys, because I know that Eurobeat Brony has a ton of you fans out there, and I wanted to make sure that you were well informed that season 2 of his music is coming out. So if you check the link we have here, just links us over, you can start seeing the first little song that he did, which was a mix of singing Telegram, which, God, I love that song. So yeah, if you want to catch up on Eurobeat, he's starting up all his new stuff, and you can catch season 2 starting with the singing Telegram song, Postal Mix Extended. Yep,
I love his stuff.
We need him back on. He's He's a great guy, and that voice trailer thing he did with us was probably one of the funniest things ever. Yeah,
I have that saved to my hard drive.
That was so fun. Okay, and that does it. Just check all those news stories out. You can use the links over on our site to find all of those. So totally cool, totally awesome, totally spies. No, not really. So let's do the next part. I tasked you guys with fix. I told you all I need fix, and you came through. So it's fix time. It's time to do them. And, I was going to be mean. I was just going to defer and not try and do a fic and just rely on you guys. But I know that I can't slack off and that you deserve better. And that you deserve me to put my full effort in. So you know what? Don't give me that look.
Whatever. You just started reading it because you couldn't do the show.
Meh. Yeah, girlfriend's being mean again. Meh. Stop it, honey. Doing a show. So this week, I decided, and I picked up. I was feeling Vinyl Scratch this week. I was just like, you know what, cool pony, like Vinyl Scratch. Let's do that. Let's see what we can find. And so what I'm going to go with is the Vinyl Scratch tapes by Corey W. Williams. For you non-shippy fans out there, it is shippy. So I would look out, but it's written like a transcript, so there's not a lot of like details, but you can kind of think about what it would be, how it would all look, and how it expand. But it is literally just like, hi, I'm Vinyl Scratch. I am insane and being a radio DJ who talks too much and puts the co-host in unfortunate and uncomfortable situations. So it's very much Chef in Our Life of me just being like Vinyl and him being like Octavia. Except hey, come on. I'm not putting you in any uncomfortable circumstances right now. So why don't you like M? Could you just tell why don't you like him? That's kind of the weird stuff that shows up in it. I'm
confused.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. It's a little bit shippy, but it's cool. I like it. To move to our fan suggestions for the week. Dear AppleCider and Chef Sandy, I've been listening to your podcast since episode 10. This is coming from the Artifactor. Mentioned you would like some dark MLP fanfics, since I'd like ones that are dark but not particularly gory. And can't think of the top of the head is A World Without Rainbows and Past Sins. They're more dark fics, but to my knowledge, ED lacks an actual dark tag. And also asked if you would prefer a time travel episode or an alternate dimension episode. I'll go alternate dimension if I had to choose. So a Dr. Who's could be fun, but I'm not sure if that's doable.
Yeah, Dr. Who's episode would be amazing. He grabs Twilight and Derpy and has to go forward in time to prevent something or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Goes 1,000 years in the future, and they find that Luna had to be imprisoned on the moon again.
Or Celestia imprisoned in the sun. Oops. No. Alternate dimension would be kind of funny if it played with the Roll 63 trope from Cross and Arrow, where they meet their male counterparts at Prince Soul or whatever. Mm-hmm. Male name.
Yeah,
that would be funny. Oh God, these boys, they look like us.
Yeah, that could be kind of. Yeah, I've heard good about that. That could be kind of fun. Either way you go, I said these. I trust the development team. They could make it awesome. So it's all dependent on what they do. Moving on, we've got some here by L-Tronic. First one, and I'm just going to go through because we have a list about 5. On Across an Arrow, neat fic that involves Twilight trying what I'm going to call a mass transit spell for her friends to Manhattan. And, of course, it all goes wrong and they go in a parallel universe. Hey, that sounds kind of where they all get gender swapped. Hey, what do you know? There you go. Number 2, Trot a Mile in Another's Shoes. This one is like an episode, Applejack and Rainbow. Get into another argument, ends in AJ AJ betting that Rainbow wouldn't be better at handling the farm, and Rainbow bets that Applejack couldn't handle weather duty. Double Rainbow director's cut. This one personally for Chef Sandy and his love for Rainbow Dash. A botched spell. Geez, Twilight, get with it. Ends up making 2 of Rainbow Dash, and complete and utter madness ensues. 4, breaking down the wall. Pinkie Pie's mystical 4th wall. Breaking powers are put to use, bringing chaos and pandemonium to Equestria. And 5, for your birthday, princess, young Pinkie Pie tries to cheer up Celestia, who is always sad for some reason. Those last 3 are random tags, so do beware. They can be a little crazy. So that is those 5. And finally, one more. This one from, hey, look, it's Serial Velocity. Hey, man. You should come on our show. That'd be cool. You tell you what, bring all your EQD staff over here. We'd appreciate it. We like you. He recommends A Nightmare to Remember. Again, one of me asking for some grim dark, some stuff that is dark but not as grimmy. He recommends Nightmare to Remember. It is a scant 13,000 words, so you should be able to get through it easily. So that is a lot of me talking about fic. Unless Chef has wants to point out there, he can move on to his next one, or what he has for fic.
Well, my choice is actually not something that I've seen on either Reviews or Equestria Daily. So my choice for this week is called Luna's Day Out by Avery Strange, or A Very Strange. I'm a big fan of most of his work, and this is a kind of slice-of-life-y thing where Celestia pushes Luna out of the house for the day to go, meet new people, have some fun, and Celestia totally drags Fluttershy into helping out. And so it's a Fluttershy and Luna go around the town and do stuff. It's very cute. I wouldn't say it's shippy, but it's Fluttershy being Fluttershy, which is always adorable, and Luna being socially awkward. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty good combo.
All right, that's cool. And M, what do you got? Hey, wait, this is the same author. You can't do that.
I can't do that?
No. All right, it's already down here. We got to go with it. Whatever.
Well, my fanfic pick for this week was also by A Very Strange, and that is Spark. And I'm not sure if it's been mentioned before. It's pretty shippy between Luna and Twilight, but I like it a lot because it starts off like a generic ship fic. Twilight comes to the castle and has to take care of the princess who's feeling down, and then it just goes on this complete tangent about this epic length quest to stop someone from destroying Equestria, and then at the very end comes all the way back to the ship. So it's not so much a ship fic as a epic fantasy battle story that uses the ship as something to drive the story.
Get back to the ship, quick! Everyone, back to the ship. Yeah, that sounds kind of neat. It almost sounds like I'm trying to remember that one from Butterscotch, where you're
thinking of Bittersweet.
No, not Bittersweet. That's quite sad. No, it's the one with Pinkie and Dash.
The party hasn't ended.
The party hasn't ended yet.
Yeah, there you go. Where that one was just kind of like, and the beginning, set up, and then whoa, crazy, awesome adventure, and then back to it at the end. So, I mean, that's what I attribute it to. I don't know if that's apt. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. Cool for everyone with your own little. With that, we do have some more suggestions that came in really late for the fic. So don't worry, I will cover those next week. If you got any more, definitely send those across to bronyville@gmail.com, and we'll collect those for your fanfic suggestions. Now, Chef, it's your favorite part of the show. If you can survive, honey. I understand. Do you need any Tylenol, Benadryl? Maybe some.
I have taken about as much Dayquil as my liver will let me take before I die.
Hooray! Don't die on me.
And what's the bad thing is you hear me coughing throughout this episode. This is actually getting better.
Hooray!
The last couple days. It's been pretty bad. It's always because I was really stressed before my summer finals. I wasn't sure I was going to pass. And I got all stressed out because I had a bunch of crazy stuff happen at that one weekend. And look, like every single time this happens, I come down sick. Ugh.
You should just not take finals. That's what I'm getting from it. You should just not take them, and you'll never get sick. You know?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a plan at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not good at plans. So if we can, maybe this next segment will clear you up a little bit because it's your favorite part of the show. I don't know that for a truth, but I'm just describing that it is.
It's where I get to dance like a puppet.
Yes, for my amusement because it's meme time. Because there's a lot of weird memes that come across this fandom, and this one is let me see if I can get this right. Ayu.
John Madden.
So yes, Moonbase Alpha is an as-funded simulator game built on the Unreal 3 engine, including text-to-speech. Designed to basically give people an idea and pretend that they are on the moon, trying to set up a Moonbase Alpha. And back in July 2010, some people decided to post a video of themselves mucking about in the game using text-to-speech to say silly things. As with all internet memes, it was ponified and converted into My Little Pony Friendship's Magic, provides a realistic representation of life in Ponyville. That's the one where you have the Mario Brothers 2 music playing in the background with all the ponies going snake, snake, etc., etc. It's one of those things that's been around for quite a while, and a lot of people consider it overplayed, but it is rather funny because you can just say "Ayu" in pretty much any chat room, and other people will start up with it. The first time I saw that video, I about busted a gut laughing. So if you can appreciate absurdist humor, it is definitely a fun video to watch, and I included a link in the show notes.
Yeah, it is definitely absurd and weird. I actually recommend finding the original and checking that out as well, because you get just as much fun just imagining all these people just being silly on the internet, just running around and just yelling John Madden over and over and over. Football, and just this weird text, like this disjointed text-to-speech engine, just mark. So if you haven't seen it, which, but they could. Hey, there might be someone out there that hasn't seen it. I highly recommend it. It's fun. It's silly. I think, yeah. So, I recommend that. That is your MAME time. So, we now move on to the actual part of the show. So we get to talk to. So, Em, you've been sitting patiently there with your laptop or computer device that you're using to communicate with us. So the main reason we talked about a little bit, there's a few things we can cover with you. First is, how you help us, make this show happen, which, probably is just a little quick discussion. But the other point that we really are interested in is the fact that you just spend a lot more time on Ponychan than us. And so there's some stuff that comes to light in Ponychan that we never know about, some neat stuff that takes a little while because, it doesn't exactly show up on the Equestria dailies and the derpy hooves of the world. So, but let's first get to the first bit. You wanted to talk a little bit about, you help us out with the show. So to explain, I give you a file. What do you do with it?
Yeah, so every week, AppleCider, you give me a giant audio file that is like an hour and a half long, and you send it to me, and I download it, and I get this huge thing, and basically my job is it happens in two parts. What I do first is I take your file and I put it in a program called Audacity, which is the program that you use to record, and I use that to go through the entire episode, listening to the whole thing, and cut out all of the really long silences and all of the times when you go or as much as I can, cutting out times when you asked me to cut things out, or things didn't work out properly, or someone broke up and they had to get their internet working again. That's what I do there, and then I export that to an MP3, and I have another file. what I do with that file then, it's all cut and edited, is I throw it in a program called FL Studio, which I know one of your guests has talked about once on the show. I forget his name.
It was one of the game guys, I believe he was working.
Yeah, it was one of the guys for Equestria Online.
There you go.
Yeah. And what I do is I throw it into that program, and then I listen to the entire episode again, raising and lowering all the volume where it needs to be raised and lowered. Sometimes someone is too soft, or sometimes someone just talks too soft one part, or sometimes there's a part where your girlfriend talks in the background and I want to bring that out because it's really funny, and I make sure all the volume levels are good. And then what I do is I slap on a couple of extra programs that deal with cutting out white noise, boosting bass, boosting treble, and I listen to the entire episode one more time and decide, when do I want more bass? When do I want more treble? Your voice in particular sounds really good with a little bit more bass, and Chef's voice in particular sounds really good with a little bit more treble. So I go through and I, mix all of that again, and then I slap on a few mastering tools that keep it from getting too loud or getting too soft. And then I export that whole file into another file, and then I put that back in Fruity Loops, FL Studio, and then I add on all of the censored yays, all those yays, that's all me now, and I add in the beginning and ending songs, and then I export that and send it to you. And the whole process takes about, depending on how much cutting I have to do, the whole process can take anywhere between 5 and 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. It's a labor, definitely a labor of love on your side, of doing that. And just so everybody knows, just like we record this and I hand it across, and I'm just like, make magic. I say words in this, and you make me sound like I'm this radio host, opposed to this guy who's just kind of talking.
That's some magic right there.
Radio.
I have all these little tricks that I do to your voice to make it sound semi-professional as far as I can go.
Hello, I am radio. How are you?
But I do have to say that the source material itself still has to be good for even what I do to make it sound good. So there's a lot of work that you guys put into it, and that's very apparent in the files that I get from you guys.
Hey, Chef, I think you said our show isn't trash. Yay!
Yay! I know my shows.
It's not garbage. All right, well, cool. So that kind of, people have wondered how we do this, and so there's a lot of work that goes behind actually making these shows work. So cool on that. So let's talk a little bit about Ponychan, because as I said, you spend more time on that, and there's some neat stuff that comes out of the Ponychan. So we've got a few links that we've put in here for our topic time that appears to be called Ponychan. Ponychan! So let's go through this first one. You've told me this in person before, but I thought this was pretty cool. So tell me about Fluttersea.
Fluttersea. There is a user on Ponychan named Fluttersea, she's actually given her real name as Sierra. And if you head on over to /arch on Ponychan, you can find the archive thread called 5th thread for Fluttersea/Sierra. And Sierra's story is very interesting and extremely moving to me. And basically what happened was a while ago, after I posted my letter, somebody posted a thread in Ponychan saying, hey, look, this guy is giving his name and where he lives in a public document. Why don't we do that too? Because I think it'd be interesting to see where people live. And this person named Fluttersea came on and said, my name is Sierra, and I live in a house that is very abusive, and my parents passed away recently, and I have to live with my sister and her friends, and they don't like me, and I'm subject to a lot of very dark things that have been happening in my life. And one of my friends on Ponychan said, hey, let's make a thread about this. This is a story that needs to be told, and this girl, she obviously needs help. So they created this series of threads called Threads for Fluttersea. And if you go over to Arch, you can read her whole story. they have the original post for the whole thread is this long wall of text explaining, what her situation is like and how things are looking up. And basically what the threads did were just people piled in with just these amazing words of just, I understand what your situation is like, or, I don't understand, but I really feel for you. And people getting in there and saying these incredible words of encouragement. Don't let them do this to you. You have to fight back. And at one point, I was not around for this, but at one point, they finally worked up the courage to get her to call Child Protection Services. And they're still waiting on CPS. That was actually kind of recent. So a lot of us don't know really what's going on with her just yet, but she is trying to get out of her home and into foster care. And it's an incredible story. And I think that the most important thing that has come from this is just sort of a representation of how incredible this community can be, and just that, here's a person who is a 16-year-old girl across the internet. None of us know what she looks like or who she is or where she lives. All we know is that she's a 16-year-old girl named Sierra who is asking, what should I do? I need help because I'm in an area that I don't want to be in. And just the Brony community as a whole just spammed that thread with this incredible amount of love and advice. And it was like I was sitting over here at my computer and you could just feel the incredible love just coming off of your screen at people saying, fight it, Sierra, here's what you should do. This is my advice. Take it or leave it. So that was an incredible thread that's been going for quite a few months now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something when we first met and we were just talking about. So what have you been doing? You were just kind of like, man, there's just been this Flutterseed thread that's just crazy that everybody had just been working on. I was like, I never knew about this. There had been some stuff that popped up before about there may have been there was some that popped up on Ponychan, I think, about somebody who may have had like somebody. Lost a family member in the whole Finnish shootings and bombings, but I think that one turned out to be kind of fake. I don't really know. The stories are a little sketchy at that point, but this one was one that definitely is, kept going and kept going. So there's some, it seems rather legit, and it's neat to see the community kind of all band up and go, oh, hey, we need to help out one of our own. We've got somebody who's in a tough spot, and let's do what we say we are, and let's actually help out and see how we can help.
Let's spread the love, yeah. And actually, threads like this were the reason I started that weekly series of articles, quotes from the fandom, because just people say some incredible things sometimes that just, they strike you, and it's like, wow, someone actually took the time to sit down and write out this huge wall of text that probably, took them an hour to write. And just say this incredible thing to someone they barely know just because I'm a Brony, and that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. So very cool on that. That was kind of a fun one that I wanted to go through. Tell you what, before we jump into some of our other ones, because this is going to turn into a little bit more of just housekeeping. Let's go a little bit just to like. Of course, you're not a Ponychan admin. You're just a guy that goes on there and just kind of plays around. But the history of Ponychan, we can kind of cover a little bit of the fact that it came pretty much from an exile from 4chan.
Yes.
Yeah. So from what I understand, and you guys can correct me because I'm a little bit more incorrect. There was just so you know, a ton of images get posted to 4chan. And for a period of time, there was a ton of images that got posted to 4chan that were ponies. And it went, and they would post reaction images and just silly stuff and just go crazy on both the CO and the B boards until one fateful day when I guess the mods just had enough of it and just started banning people for, hey, no more pony threads. You're banned for 2 weeks. We're done with this. And some rebelled, some kept posting, and figured out ways around it, and then some went, all right, fine, we'll set up our own board, and thus became Ponychan. That sound about right?
Yeah. and Chef could probably say this better than I could, because he actually is from 4chan, or has hung out on 4chan more than I have. But Ponychan literally just grew from an exodus away from hatred, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's such a loving place, is because they just said, look, we're hated somewhere, and they told us, go away and make your own chan, and that's what we're going to do. So we did. We made our own chan. Here we are. Here's us. We like ponies. And, we're not... They're one of their most adamant sayings is, this is not 4chan. They actually have a board called /this is not 4chan. And they try to separate themselves from that culture that 4chan has. It's very, very different, two different cultures of posters, but that is in fact where Ponychan had come from. It came from 4chan.
Did you have anything, Chef, or?
It's just one of those things where people have tried to they've taken the Chan culture and are trying to remold it in a more friendly, welcoming way. And I think the Ponychan has succeeded to a large degree, which is probably why it gets a lot of scorn from other angles, primarily because it is, like you said earlier, loving and caring, and people try to be nice, as opposed to on 4chan, where people don't go out of their way.
Mm-hmm. And I think something that was said, that we talked about pro show is like 4chan's cool with it. By the way, they don't mind that there's a Ponychan. That is that right? They don't come in and attack Ponychan.
Well, most of them are okay with it. Yeah, most of them are. We do occasionally get raids from B and Co.
Well, that's just a few people.
Yeah,
4chan is a million users across the web.
It's by no means a war. Mm-hmm. They're mostly okay with it, yeah.
It's just isolated bands of terrorism, pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah, and that says it. So, let me see. I'm going to click open our Ponychan here, and we can just go through just some of the stuff at the top. You can find all the links of everything, but we've got, let's see, SRS, Serious Business. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, do you want me to explain?
Yeah, let's just give us a brief little idea of what we can find on each of these boards. Just real brief.
Well, going from left to right, the first two, all in Serious, /all, /SRS, are combination boards. /all is everything that's being posted at all times, whatever's the most recent, and /serious is the same thing, but without like role play and without the crazy stuff. It's all the serious stuff. /meta is where you go to discuss the site, talk to the mods, ask stuff about Ponychan. Arch is the archive, which is where all of the things that the mods and the admins think are really significant or big achievements in the community. That's where they put all those threads. /pony is serious pony discussion. Pick, media, and merch are pretty self-explanatory. Pick is for pictures, media is for videos and music, and merch is where you go to discuss Hasbro merchandise. Oat is an interesting board. Oat is a lot like 4chan's B, but it's only ponies. So it's whatever complete crazy randomness you can think of, go, but it has to be about ponies. RP is for role-playing, whether pony or otherwise. All role-playing goes there. Art is where people go to post things that they've drawn or ask help for how to draw things. Fic is for fan fiction. Collab is where you go if you want to start a big project but you need help. Chat is where you go for anything that is not related to ponies at all, that's just sitting around and talking to people. DIS is for serious discussion that has nothing to do with ponies. So a lot of things like religious discussion or morality discussion goes in there. G is for anything game related. /www is for all things related to websites that are not Ponychan. So I post stuff about the Bronyville podcast. The Bronyville podcast in /www a lot.
Ooh. And
/int is international. That's anything that's non-English speaking. If you want to type in Japanese, or if you don't speak English and you want to hang out with other bronies, that's where you go.
All right, super cool. Yeah, I didn't even know about, jumping in here, I'm like, wait, what's the difference between chat and dis and, there's a lot going on here. So that actually helps clear up a little bit with some of these rooms. That's actually pretty helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool on that. I'd recommend checking it out. There's some fun stuff. I like looking at merch just to see what's going on. Like some people making necklaces and things like that, like weird, cool stuff. Of course, I did download a bunch of Applejack face reaction pictures the other night because hey, I need them. They're important to me. I need weird Applejack face reaction pictures. So, I highly, it's cool, and you can grab them here. So let's go over these links that you put in the show notes. We've got two other ones.
Yeah, I got two other ones. One of them links to a sticky thread on Media. A sticky thread is a thread that the mods think are cool enough to stay up forever, but not cool enough to go to Arch. They just sort of tack it on at the very top of the page so everybody sees it. And this one is really cool. This is actually, Chef talked about this earlier, and it is a thread of just all the music that has been put out by this fandom, all archived in one place. And the guy, it's run by a man named Waka, and he has this Google Docs running, which is a list of everything that is in the archive and everything that gets added every week. And every week he re-uploads everything, and you can just download this gigantic, massive, multi-gigabyte sized file of just pony music. So anyone who's interested in pony music, like I am, you can just go there, read through the thread, and download this huge, massive file of just so much music.
All right, cool. Yeah, and that said Chef brought that up a little earlier, so you can find that. Hey, we've got a link on the show notes. And then we've got this one that we talked about a little beforehand, which I'm going to pull forward my brushable Fluttershy real quick as you explained to me a little bit of how I can make her not look so hairs everywhere. God. Ugh.
Well, this thread that I've linked, I actually don't frequent it too often because I don't buy the toys with brushable hair, simply because I'm a somewhat lazy person when it comes to taking care of all your stuff that you have, and I don't want to work with hair. But this thread, Hairstyling General, is a great place to go if you have a question about, how do I do this hair on this pony? Should I cut it here? Do I use this kind of gel? How do I brush this? And it's a really interesting thread of people just asking questions and making tutorials on how to style your pony's hair if you buy the official Hasbro My Little Pony toys. It's really long, too. It's like 300 responses.
Mm-hmm. So if you're curious of like, man, how do I get Rarity's hair to just curl that way, or how do I get the heart-shaped design on Fluttershy's, and not just feel like I can't take the rubber bands off or they'll just break. It's such a silly thing for us grown men to just be like, I need to figure out how to make my pony dolls look right, but it's important, damn it. Man, I need to make them look like they're from the show. So, and I think, there's a ton of cool stuff on there. I recommend going and checking out Ponychan because it's full of stuff and it's always active. Middle of the night.
Constantly. 24/7.
I know that, as you said a little earlier, Circuit's got that relationship advice. There's a few advice threads. There's the relationship advice. Go ahead.
Actually, Circuit Main runs a nightly thread called Circuit Main's Love and Advice thread, and it's just basically a thread where he's like, hey, I'm a grown man and I have a lot of experience, and I have a couple friends here on Ponychan who are always in this thread, and if you have a question, you want some advice about just about anything, I'll answer it to the best of my ability, and if I can't answer it, someone else in this thread definitely can. And I myself have popped into that thread a couple times and asked him, some questions about, life lessons and all of that. It's a very interesting thread, and it often turns philosophical sometimes, depending on, what the question is being asked. But Circuit Main's a pretty cool guy, and he has quite the way with words when it comes to posting.
Yeah, that's cool. Another one I know that's up there is Midnight. Midnight has his little his fic group that he has where you'd be like, hey, listen, if you got a fic and you just need somebody to, I am a screener for Equestria Daily, so if you want to, run by some fic and let us give a quick breeze to it, he's got their little suggestion thread. Yep. So that's out there. There's a ton going on that Ponychan. I think we will agree that there's much to do, and you should probably go check it out if you haven't already or don't already frequent it constantly. I should do it more. I feel like I'm missing out of a lot, but there's just so much to do with the podcast and so much to keep track of, and having a real life, and
if you post around there, you'll probably see me. I spend quite a bit of time on that website.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool, and then you everybody knows where they can track you down. I guess is the same MBULSHT you probably show up as.
Yep.
So, you can track them there, and if you see them, say hi. That'd be cool. All right, so from there, let's go ahead and move on. We've got our very last segment. This has been a long show. So I'm going to have my one cool thing, and I'm going to thank Keanu for this one, because I found it through one of our emails, and I thought this was really cool. So there is the Savage World RPG books, the Savage World game system, which, tabletop games, all that funness. And he has made the Savage Worlds of MLP FIM RPG, which includes spells, stats, everything you pretty much need to know. If
acronyms,
you've got,
lots of acronyms.
If you need to, if you want to play some tabletop My Little Pony, and you've got the Savage World set, you should totally do this, because the I actually was like, oh, this looks like this is really thorough. I'm going to go buy myself the Savage World book, which wasn't actually that easy to find. So I've got that inbound. I want, me and Chef to play a game where it's just like, you drink cider, we're drunk, just tabletop stuff. So I'd recommend it. Check it out. It looks really thorough, and kind of goes into like Earth ponies have these abilities, and Pegasus have these, and unicorns have magic, and it all looks very in depth. And I want to play it, dude. It looks fun. Yeah. I like tabletops. I need to play more tabletops. I'm in a tabletop drought. Okay, Chef, what you got?
So I've got a couple PMVs this week that I thought were really, really well done. First of all is Ponychan. The person who did this, it was posted by Katsuhako back on August 7th, is a reimagining of the Samurai Champloo opening done with ponies. And to the point that they went and replaced all the text with correct Japanese characters. So, like, all the subtitles that have the English corresponds to the actual characters. And it's pretty amazing, and probably took quite a while to do. Plus, Samurai Champloo is a really cool anime, so, I like that. And a second one titled Applelucent Psychiatrist, which is a sort of YouTube poop, sort of not. It's a pony version of a video for the group called
The
Avalanches, which was, it's like it's sort of like YouTube poop. It's sequenced audio clips into a song, and both videos are really out there. If you see the original, which is linked off the pony version, you really gotta wonder.
That's definitely a weird music video as is. I heard this song a while back, and I actually love it's the bass song is Frontier Psychiatrist, and yes, of course it is Applelucent Psychiatrist in this version, and yeah, it's done really well. Guess what? Stars Applejack going crazy. So there you go. All you really need to make sure that you listen to that one. You got to bring us home. I'm starting to waver here. My coffee's gone, so you're going to have to give me something good.
All right. So the first thing I point out was a YouTube channel a YouTube channel called Little Pony Music's channel, and it is someone who went to this show and in 720 ripped all of the songs, and they're all up on a YouTube channel. Every song ever, and some of the background music as well. So if you're like me and you enjoy music quite a bit, then that would be definitely an interesting thing to check out. And the second thing that I posted here in your show notes was William CLL's shipping list, and this is actually a thing that pertains to Ponychan. So those of you who don't frequent Ponychan probably won't find this as funny as some of us would, but there are a lot of people who roleplay on Ponychan on various boards, and some of them roleplay as main characters, and a lot of them roleplay as OCs or as people from other shows like Doctor Who. There's a couple people who roleplay as Doctor Who, and inevitably, as will happen with roleplay, they often ship with other characters romantically. And so someone by the name of William CLL took it upon himself, along with the help of a couple other people, to just go through every character possible in Ponychan and list who they have shipped with. And I'm actually on there because I do have an OC, though who I am is something of a secret. I probably will be revealing that later. So I'm actually on that list, and this guy literally has gone through the all of Ponychan, all of Oat and RP and Chad had just found everyone who has shipped with anything ever. So have some fun, go on there, see if your friend who posts on Ponychan, see if he's on there to see if he shipped with anybody. Who knows? It might have been Applejack.
There's so much text.
Yeah.
Oh man, it keeps going.
It seems like a very inside baseball sort of list where it's like, wait, what? I thought you were going to be posting the one that's like all the named characters and side characters and their silly combo, like Octavia Bloom and Bloomberg Shy, stuff like that.
Princess Luna, dash,
Yeah.
Twilight, Twilight.
So on that note,
Trixie, Big Mac, Dash. I'm noticing a pattern. Okay. Before we get shipped with Dash, we should probably go ahead and get this wrapped up. So I want to go ahead and start from the top. Thank you very much, M. Great to have you on the show. You contribute a ton to the show, just behind the scenes, and good to kind of let you be on and commemorate you. So a little hoof clap for being cool and helping out.
And thank you.
As said, always want to thank my awesome host there. Hey, Chef Sandy, thanks for being on and being cool, even though you're sickly. I recommend maybe a nice long bath. Just some bath salts would be good. Yeah, I recommend also get a tea with some honey in it. Just to make sure, clear it up a little bit. Get a good night's rest because you definitely need that. I didn't like it, but gargle some salt water. I hear that maybe it helps a little bit, but yeah. Oh God, we lost him. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get a. Oh, great, we're losing him. It's gone.
Get you some sleepy time.
Yep. And let me just wrap this up. Let me just wrap this up. If you want to check out our website, which you totally can listen to the show to, that will be BronyShow.com. If you want to leave us a review on iTunes, highly recommended, considering the fact I might say your name. You can do that on iTunes. Just look for Bronyville. If you want to leave us an email, that's going to be bronyville@gmail.com. And I just want to say you guys are super double, turbo, super spectacular, tinky winky awesome. So, I always love you guys. You're probably some of the most gracious fans I could ever hope for. And thank you for listening for this during this super long, super crazy, somewhat sick episode. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. Sleep well, everybody. Every pony.
Farewell.
Adios.